Welcome back to the TrailBLAZER pod. I'm your host Faye, and each week I bring you stories of Jewish women who are paving bold new paths. Meet Estee Stimler, writer, lyricist, and unapologetic trailblazer. In this conversation, she opens up about the layered realities of Jewish identity and her own creative journey from speechwriting to musicals and plays. With warmth and wit, Estee explores how humor shapes family bonds, why positive representation matters in Jewish media, and how art can balance self-expression with social responsibility. Her work is driven by a belief that creativity thrives without competition, and that empowering others is the surest way to make space for diverse voices to shine. Let's dive in. Estee, welcome to the TrailBLAZER pod. I'm so excited to have you. I had your daughter Michelle a couple weeks ago, and she spoke so highly of you. I can tell right away that you're going to be somebody I'm going to enjoy talking to and also be able to learn from. So thanks for being here. How are you?
Thank you. And likewise, I really enjoyed watching Michelle on the podcast.
She was so good. She's such a sweetheart. She's so smart, so creative, and I have a feeling she takes it from you. So let's get
Well,
into
I
it.
take credit for it all. So yeah.
Good. Okay, so I like to start by asking all my guests like who they were as a little girl, like create an early context for them. So what were you like personality-wise, and where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Muncie, if everyone knows
Oh.
New York. Yeah. It's very different now. It's very different than what it was. It was like mostly farmland when I was born a million years ago, when dinosaurs roamed there, and it was a totally different place. You know, we never locked our doors, and the kids just roamed free, and discovered tadpoles in the stream in the park. Like, we did whatever we wanted. It was amazing. It was an amazing place to grow up. Yeah, but I was always very out of the box, very creative, to the point where I think that I knew I was other.
Really?
I knew that I wasn't like everybody else.
Can you give me like an example of like what that feels like as a kid? Like what made you feel other? Did you think differently or you look differently? You did other things?
I definitely thought differently. I was like, everybody thinks like this, and I was like this. I was totally different.
Wow.
Totally,
Did
totally different.
did you have a hard time making friends because of it or no?
No, I had few friends. They were good friends. It's much easier if you conform, isn't it? And then
Yes.
I was always a little bit too much, so to speak. So, I mean, as the years gone by, and this is me completely, like, I've been in England now for 37 years. I know, I'm so British. So, this is me being British. So you can imagine what I was like when I was
Wow.
young. Yeah,
Wow.
God, my parents, yeah.
I did your parents like embrace that part like the too much? Because sometimes like when you're told
I,
by
I
the
think
world.
my mom wanted me not to be too much,
Okay. Okay.
but my dad enjoyed every second of
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Because I'm sure it was
Well, but the
entertaining.
truth is, laughter was always currency in our house. My mom is a Holocaust survivor, and I think the reason she's so incredible is she has such a good sense of humor. Her and all the rest of the family, that made it out, they just have a great sense of humor. And so I knew at a young age that I could get away with a lot if I was funny. Let's say my parents went to parent teachers night, and my mother would come back with a report, and she'd say, "You did not imitate that teacher well." Or, "This one, you got spot on. So I knew I could,
Yeah. So
yeah.
most moms come back and say like, why didn't you do so well in English? And yours is like
Mine
your
is like,
imitation
"Oh,
was
your
not so
English
good.
teacher, you did her well. You did her well." Yeah.
That's so cute. I think I find it so fascinating that kids know innately what is the currency in their family dynamic. So cool that you learned that at a young
Yeah,
age,
yeah.
right?
Make my parents laugh, get away with murder.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I must tell you, it stood me in good stead till today.
Okay. If it works, right?
It works. It
Um,
works.
so you mentioned your mom's a Holocaust survivor.
Yeah.
Curious, like, how did Judaism play a role?
Oh, it was always just a given. We were, Shomer Shabbat, and keeping kosher. I don't even know why I said Shomer Shabbat right there, because it's not I say Shabbos, but I
Okay.
always have to like hold myself back when I speak to everybody else, because everyone says Shabbat, and I don't.
Yes.
So it's like unnatural for me. So I sort of merged both of them. I don't know.
Oh,
Coined
that's
a new
funny.
phrase. So yeah. So I mean, it wasn't like an issue. It wasn't like something that we just, it was just,
It
this was our
was.
just way of life. And we also had a very, very open home because my uncle, which, I know that you're interested in this, the statue that ended up,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, in Bill Clinton's office. So that has to do with my uncle. My uncle, my mom's brother, um, created the New York City Marathon. So,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
he was the founder of the New York City Marathon, Fred Lebo. So he told everyone that he was a vegetarian and he would come to us Friday night and eat meat
Yeah.
because it was just easier. But I have to tell you, when I started out in the theater industry, I didn't tell anybody that I was a Jewy Jew.
No.
No, I would go out to eat with them, bring a protein bar. I'm on a meal replacement diet. So everyone's like, "Oh my God, you're always on a diet. Wow." And then I would tell people I have a lot of kids, which I do. Um, don't call me from Friday to Monday. That's family time. I didn't
Okay.
want to get into it,
Yeah.
because of the perception. Sometimes that can be very reductive, which I must
Yeah.
tell you, I'm guilty of as well. So, and the fear that people have that religious people are going to be very closed minded, which I'm not. And it also
Yeah.
helped that I grew up in a house where having my uncle bring all his people over of every denomination and, every type of character you can imagine.
Yeah, I remember asking your daughter like the same question, and she's like, she was explaining how she grew up, and I found it so beautiful that because she's like I grew up, knowing all the things, but also very open minded, and I like the perfect combination, and obviously that's coming from you and your childhood.
Well, yeah, it's a gift that my parents gave me that,
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
yeah, when I came out in the industry, so there is a performer and she's a producer. I have to say her name, Michaela Stern, Mickey Stern. She's my muse. I literally write shows with her in it.
Wow.
I love her. Anyway, she told me, she said, Esty, you've got to come out. You've got to tell people that you're
Yeah.
in Orthodox. I don't even want to say the word Orthodox Jew. And so I was like, oh, do I? She's like, yes, it's good for us. I'm like, fine. So I told people who had known me so for several years that I keep
Wow.
Shabbat.
Shabbat.
I keep Shabbos and that I keep kosher. And the first thing they said to me, the first thing all across the board, could we come Friday night dinner?
Wow.
So I
That's
have had
amazing.
the most eclectic Friday night dinners you can imagine.
Wow.
I have had every gender, every you can't imagine. Like I've
Yeah.
had everything, and it's the most beautiful,
Wow.
amazing Jews, non-Jews. They've all been to me.
Wow.
Directors, producers, actors. It's
Wow.
wonderful. I
That's
once
amazing.
had one meal that I had a whole load of agents and a whole load of actors, and it people happened to be
Connected.
they just connected. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like creating relationships more than anything, and they love the whole ceremony of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's beautiful. I don't think people get that feeling much in real life, I would call it.
Yeah,
But,
I think there is something that it does give to
yeah.
people. Yeah, I mean,
It's like slowing down and just talking. How often do you
yeah,
just sit and talk and, connect? Was this after October 7th, though, or before?
that was before October
Okay.
7th. But I have to tell you, I have the most incredible allies.
Wow.
It's the most beautiful relationship, incredible, incredible people in my life who are just so supportive and caring. These are people I've
That's so
hosted,
special.
not just I mean, it's just we have this beautiful relationship. They
It's amazing.
understand me at a level that they wouldn't have been able to had they not been to Friday night dinner, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly. It shows them a deeper side of yourself.
Yeah.
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 I was going to ask you this later, but it just, it comes in right now. You were one of the people who signed the Hollywood letter rejecting anti-Semitism. So, can you share a little bit more about that and like what made you choose to sign it?
Well, I mean, I'm on a lot of the Jews in media groups, and it's not even a question. For me, I know that, if anyone looks me up on Instagram, I'm not a massive influencer, but I do have a platform.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking, if my grandfather had a platform, would he have used it in the 30s? And I think he would have.
Oh.
I don't think I have a
Oh.
choice.
Yeah. Wow, that's so special. How do you think, and just this is more of an opinion question, but how do you like balance artistic expression with social and political responsibility? Just like as an outsider, I'm not an artist, I'm not part of that world, but sometimes you see people comment like, you're like, to actors, right? Who are you to speak on this cause? You know, who are you to make this claim? Like, you're an actor, stay in your lane. And then you have people saying the opposite, which is exactly what you said. You have a platform, you have to use. How can you not use your platform, right? You have a responsibility. So can you talk to me about like how you feel about that conversation?
Oh gosh. Okay, so I don't say anything original. I'm not saying anything original. What I'm doing is reposting
Reposting.
other people's verified, I hope.
Yeah.
There are sometimes I get called out. I'm happy if someone calls me out. If
Yeah.
something isn't verified, I'll take it down. And I do have a lot of non-Jewish people say to me that if it wasn't for your stories,
Yeah.
we would never know the other side. So
Yeah.
I do feel like I have a responsibility, as I think I have a little bit more leeway than anybody else because I am the daughter of a survivor.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if I wasn't, maybe it would be a little bit more iffy, but
Oh, I think you make a really good distinction there of like claiming you are a historian when you're not, right? Versus this is what people are saying, mostly verified, hopefully verified, and I'm just reposting this for your knowledge because people see my stories, right? Because I have
yeah,
a
people,
couple
because I have
thousand
a lot
followers.
of
You
eyes
have
on
a
my
lot of
story.
followers. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's a really, really important point, and I agree with you that people that have a platform have a responsibility to share at least what, your side of what's going on so that they can see. Really, so many people have no clue of what is happening. Like, they're told this one narrative, they go to a school that tells them one thing, their family tells them one thing, and then they see a post and they're like, oh, I had no idea this exists, right?
Yeah,
Like, they just don't
it's
know.
a problem because, see, I believe in shared humanity. I would never post anything bad about Muslims because it's not Muslims that are the issue. For me, it's fundamentalist, Islamists that are the issue. Nobody sees nuances anymore.
Right.
And they don't see that if the Israeli government makes a decision that, let's say, me, Esty, doesn't agree with, that doesn't mean that I don't support the state of Israel and that I don't believe that it should exist.
Right.
They think that everything is so, it's so funny because we're supposed to live in such a non-binary world and
Mm-hmm.
everything has become so binary.
So well said.
So
That's,
binary. But I've gotten I get death threats, which
oh
my
my
mother is not happy about. I hope she's not listening.
goodness.
And, and I get hate mail from people who I thought were friends
Mm-hmm.
also. I do get that.
Okay. Yeah, I was
But
gonna ask you, but
yeah,
yeah,
but they
because
went to TikTok University.
they went to. I love your one-liners; they're so good.
Oh,
Yeah, no, that's really well put. So, let's pivot a little bit from that, but just a little bit more towards Jewish values. Like when I was talking to Michelle, because when I was doing research on her, the whole everything she was doing was charity and giving back and philanthropy, and she's like, well, I learned that from my mom. She's like, I watched my parents basically sit at the table and discuss, this kind of stuff. But the thing she was saying about you, which really stood out, is like she always made it creative and personal, and she gave an example of you like teaching people how to gift wrap
oh
something,
my
and it was
God, yeah.
really
I,
but you remember that?
I used to make centerpieces for
Wow.
dinners. I did anything because I also have, you know, any creative person usually is not just creative in one aspect. I also, when I was in college, I also minored in art, and I'm very good with creating things with my
Wow.
hands. So I have also a City and Guilds, which is that's an accreditation in England. I have it in visual merchandising, which is retail
Wow.
display. So that, so
Yeah.
I was able to do that. I also have another one in portraiture, and then I learned on film with cameras because I had the degree in portraiture. I went to the schools and I made their calendars. I took photos for their kids'
Wow.
things. I did for like the sixth formers, which is the highest, grade. I would do their graduation stuff just
Wow.
as a way of
Yeah.
giving back, and like all sorts. I've worked for all sorts of organizations, just, as in a helpful capacity.
So what's cool is like a lot of people, and there's nothing wrong with this at all. Just charity to them means giving the money, right? But it sounds like you really took yourself and you gave your time, which I feel
I
like it's
also I have this feeling that I'm very like I always say to people in my industry, I always use the term the universe, but we're talking about Hashem.
Yes.
But so I really believe that if God gave me gifts, I have to use them to help his children.
Wow. And is this something that you learned from your parents?
Oh, my parents were always very, very community minded.
Yeah.
Like my mother always did everything for the shul, my father as well. My father's very, like both of my parents are very creative people.
Oh,
My
okay.
father does woodworking. He carves mezuzahs out of wood. He's
Wow.
amazing. He makes
Wow.
Torah pointers. We made one for the shul. Like he
That's
uses,
so cool.
he really does.
It's so cool for me to hear that it's like I'm starting with Michelle, going to you, and now it's your parents. Like those trends and the passions and the values are like literally so clear.
Yeah, my dad is very interesting because my dad is a Korean War vet and he was in combat engineering
Wow.
and he was the only religious person that he knows of like in
Wow.
his area of the army.
What a
And
cool story.
I said to him, I said, "How did you stay religious?" So he said, if you which I thought was beautiful. He said, if you say a bracha, if you say a blessing before you eat anything, he said you'll be the same level as you went in as you went out. He said because that acknowledgement that
That
everything comes.
pause. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Wow. He should write a book. I feel
yeah,
like your
he
parents should
should.
write a book. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to when you were younger. When you were 18, what did you envision for yourself? Like, what did you want to do career-wise?
Okay, so I thought I was going to be a lawyer because I had a really
Really?
good memory. It's so funny because I had a really good memory. So like I know what it is to have a good
Yeah.
memory because we don't have the good memory anymore. So the lawyer, I thought I'm going to be a lawyer. I thought that's like really creative. I thought, oh, I'll be able to have some fun in court. Like my whole thing was, oh, make everyone laugh in court, win your case. That's what I thought it was going to be like.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, not expect you to say lawyer. Very much not what I
I
was
know,
expecting.
right? Like
Yeah,
why?
yeah. So,
Like I said,
I,
I don't think like anyone else. I have no idea what my past person was thinking. I have no. She
it's
was
make,
a loose cannon.
that's what makes you interesting.
If yeah,
You know, I don't think we'd be sitting here talking if you didn't have those little quirks,
yeah,
right? So, you started your career as a speechwriter.
yes.
How did that come about?
So I was always the one writing stuff for people to say, and then one day it came to a point where I'm writing speeches for people I'm not getting paid. So then it was like I
Not
have
okay.
to now. So
Yeah.
I started doing it, and then word of mouth. The funny thing is that when I stopped doing it, everyone thought any good speech was written by me. I got credit for stuff I didn't even do, which is great. And
That means you did
it
your
was,
job well.
yeah, but it was also, it's very similar to theater because every speech is a mini production. You're saying it in somebody else's voice. You can't write it in your own the way you
Right.
have to meet with the person, see,
Right.
their inflections and the way they want to give things over. And then they'll give you notes about it. They'll say, no, I wouldn't say that.
Right.
And you have to go back and rewrite it in their, in the way they talk.
So it's a lot of creativity and
So
imagination.
it's a lot, and then you have to have beginning, middle, and end.
Wow.
And I don't believe in long speeches, never have, wouldn't take on, I would never write somebody's TED Talk.
Okay. Good
Yeah.
to know.
Don't think that anybody should give a TED Talk at anywhere. You want to say what you want to say it in 5 minutes.
Especially nowadays, people's attention span is so
Oh no,
short.
now since TikTok, it's like
Yeah,
terrible.
I know. It's
But
literally
on the
changing
other
brains.
hand, if you think about like TV advertisements, they were able to tell an entire story in 30 seconds.
It's true. It's really amazing. You know,
Yeah.
it's really interesting because when I was in college, all my professors would say, like, it's one thing to be able to write a 10-page paper, but if you can't bring that down to one page, then you're not a good writer. Like, I've always heard that.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
much harder to even to write a short story than it is
right.
to write a novel.
100%.
Yeah,
So maybe this generation will be a little bit better at that.
hope so.
We'll see. So can you tell us the story of the plaque presented to U.S. President Bill Clinton? I don't know the story, so I'm learning with our listeners.
So what happened was, I think it was 1994, could be wrong, have known to be wrong in the past, but I think it was 1994. My uncle had passed away, and Dan Mitrovich, who's an amazing guy, he made a statue of my uncle in Central Park, which is quite amazing because it's quite amazing.
Yeah.
And East 89th is also Fred Lebo Place. So they made the statue, and at the inauguration of the statue, you had all the parks commissioners speaking, you had runners speaking. Out of everybody that was there, my speech was chosen to be on the plaque to be given to, because it was short.
That's what it was?
I think it would have been a good speech, but it was short, it was concise. So I think that was,
That's so cool though.
that was cool. And I have to tell you, when I came off the podium, Giuliani came over to me. He was mayor at the time. And he said, "Who wrote your speech?" And I said, "I did.
I did.
I did." And then people were taking my cards, and I signed a whole lot of NDAs. And this will just tell you how old I am. I used to fax over speeches to New York. Fax. There was a lot of, in America, you say whiteout. In England, you say Tipex.
What do you say? Tipex?
Tipex. Yeah, the white.
Oh, like you're Xing the tip?
The white. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well, I feel like some people listening won't know what a fax is, but I for sure know what a fax is.
It's like a machine that makes a noise and then a paper cut.
Okay, that's super, super cool, and sounds like the best marketing ever, right? Like,
yeah,
people
that
are
was
like,
it was great. Yeah.
So you go from that. How do you get into theater?
So Michelle, I wanted her to finish university. Like, that was really important to me that she finish. So she had a baby already.
Yeah.
So I looked after that baby for 2 years.
That's so sweet.
I know, it was so and she's still like, it's my oldest granddaughter, and she's taller than me now, and she's my person, She's my person.
You raised her,
Like those years. Like, we did everything. We did the Mommy and Me, like the the singing things. I got her into ballet at 18 months, and they said, no, she has to be 2 years. I said, she's a prodigy. They said, okay, fine. You can go in the class with her. So I would go in the class and move her little legs. It was so cute. Anyways, while I was doing that, because there was a lot of downtime, I mean, she did nap. So I did marketing in the 80s. And then I did an online literature course. And then I decided to take a master's in writing musical theater as a lark. I thought, okay, this is fun. When I was, as a speechwriter, also did a lot of parody lyrics. A lot of parody lyrics. So I thought, okay, how hard can this be? So I did it for 2 years. And when I was there, the professors were amazing to me. They go, "Oh my God, they were so encouraging." They go, "You're really good. It shouldn't be this easy." I was like, "Oh, yay, this is great." And so I started working with my composer. I've actually worked with him before. I've written lyrics for a Jewish singer, which the funny thing is that now, knowing what I know about the craft, I can't even look at those lyrics now.
Really?
You know what I mean? Like, that was like 2006. Can't look at it now.
But also be proud of how far you've come,
Yeah, I'm happy that my craft has evolved. And so I worked with an Israeli composer named Yuval Hafkin. And, we got together again, when I was doing my master's, and we've written 3 musicals so far. We're writing our 4th, which I'm really excited about. I want to plug because that is probably going to be on before any of the other ones. It's based on a film, an award-winning film by filmmaker Damien Samuels, and it's called The 5 Wives and Lives of Melvin Pfefferberg. And it's about a guy. He gets dumped at the altar. He goes to a speeding dating event with a time machine. And every time he touches a woman's hand, he sees his future with her. It is so funny. I can't even tell you. Like,
oh my gosh,
hilariously funny.
I can imagine.
Hilarious.
You.
But I also have 3 plays. One was at the Camden Fringe. One was as part of Jewish Book Week. Thank you very much, Alistair Falk. He's a tzaddik. Does the Tzitzit Fringe Festival in the UK's only Jewish fringe festival. Get it? Tzitzit? So clever.
I feel like
so
UK
clever.
has the most fun. Yeah, has the most fun festivals
I
But
know.
I've never.
And then, so he put me in Jewish Book Week with my play Shiva at Wit's End, which is about two brothers. One wants to bury the father according to Jewish law. One wants to cremate the father because it's cheaper. So they negotiate and they decide they're not going to get the Jewish Burial Society. They're going to get contractors. The problem is they don't measure the coffin properly. So the coffin is hovering on top of the plot and everybody's going nuts because the rabbi is also a wannabe stand-up, so he's trying all his material and insanity ensues. So that was that. And then as part of thank you again, Alistair Folk from the Tzitzit Fringe Festival, he did a day of Jews Write Funny and he showcased my play Smother. Smother is about a Jewish mother who comes back from the dead to make sure her daughter gets married. Because as you know, death is no match for a Jewish mother. And I had producers in the audience and they were like, oh my God, we're taking this on. So it's going to be on at some point this year. We're going to have a nice run of that. So yeah, I'm very, very excited. Anybody watching Fun Theater? Hello.
Yeah, hello guys. Slide into Estee's DMs.
You never know. You come to opening night, it'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you always try to bring some Judaism into your work? Or it just happened to be like those three places?
You know what the funny thing is that what I told you, Mickey Stern, who told me that I had to come out of the closet. So Mickey was the one who said, you have to write a positive, because till then I was not writing Jewish material. Change of Heart and The Attic were not Jewish material. And she said, you have to write something that depicts Jews in a positive way. And she was very prescient. She said this already in 2019.
Wow. Okay.
And so we came out with something, original title was called Jubilical Cord. And everyone said, that's disgusting. That's disgusting. So we got rid of that title. And now it's called Strings Attached.
Okay.
And it's about a Jewish family. And the parents are desperate for an empty nest, and the last kid leaves for university and they celebrate, and then one by one the kids keep coming home, so they have to conspire with their Yiddish-speaking grandparents to get them out of the house. So that's a musical.
So good.
Funny. Wow. So it's really everything I do. So my whole life right now is positive Jewish content. Okay, so because that's what we need. We need the rest of the world to have a connection to us through shared humanity and to remember why they love us. Because the truth is, they do love us. They just forgot for a while. They forgot. And we want to remind them with positive. That's why anybody, like, I don't appreciate if someone does all their negative. Like, there is time for, it's people's truth. And I understand it's people's stories. They want to explore it. They want to share it. But read the room, not now. Please just stick to positive stuff. We don't need anything depicted us in a bad way. That's how I feel.
Yeah, this is what they're looking for. They're looking for moments that they can pick up and use. That's the world, right? Like
right now, that's that's what's happening, and right now we can't afford it. So let's say I'll give another plug to another amazing. I think they're fantastic. Izzy is the Israel streaming service. For outside of Israel, and they have, the prequel of Shtisel.
Oh.
The Shtisel, it wasn't picked up by Netflix, Kugel. And it's on Izzy. You have to download Izzy. I recommend it. They have such good content. Jonah Platt's podcast is on there. It's positive Jewish, Israeli stuff, but also Jewish stuff, which I think is very important for us.
Wow, amazing.
I don't know if I was allowed to do that, but I just did.
You're allowed to do whatever you want.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let me ask you, because you were mentioning for a while you were not sharing that you were an Orthodox woman, and then you were talking to me a little bit about your father and him being in the military and like saying the bracha, right? Do you think, and I want your opinion on this, because I think sometimes Orthodox women feel, because either we're told from the community or from outsiders, that you can't be creative and Orthodox at the same time. Like, it's almost like a contradiction. Not that it's true, but I think
I don't know who's. I don't.
This is why I'm talking to you. This is why I want to ask you.
Rebbitzin Jackie Wein, who was the wife of Rabbi Beryl Wein, the famous historian. Now he's in Israel. I grew up. She was the Rebbitzin of our shul. So the last time I saw her before she died, she said to me, she said, Estee, this religion is so livable. Why do people make it unlivable?
Wow.
And you know what? I go by that. I go by that. And it just makes things so much easier. And also, she was very special because she used to write plays, which I think really inspired me. She used to write plays and she used to put them on when the girls were bat mitzvah in front of, it was like a mixed crowd, and she would put it on the bat mitzvah girls would be in this play that she wrote, which was always a comedy, and the other girls in the shul would help with because it was a dinner club, so they would serve, and it was like we were so excited. It was so wonderful.
Yeah. Okay, so you answered my question before I even, asked.
Look at me.
Because,
I'm like
you're a mind reader.
reader.
Exactly. Who needs memory when you can read minds? Yeah.
when you have prophecy, who needs memory?
Exactly, who needs memory? Because I was going to ask you if you find that there's a contradiction there or not, and obviously for you there isn't, but I think there are certain misconceptions about it.
There is.
Sure.
I mean, when I came to England, definitely it was much more like
why?
I just felt it was very like a little bit more closed-minded than how I grew up.
Okay, interesting. I don't know English.
But every community is different,
Right. Do you when people find out that you're Orthodox, are they shocked? In terms
Yes.
of
Yeah, I mean they were. Yeah.
Okay.
When they came out, people are like, oh. There was one Israeli who he said to me, oh, not you.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That ties it up pretty well.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay, so what do you hope for younger generations? Let's take Michelle, let's take me. What do you hope they can carry forward from the work that you create? So at first I was thinking just your plays, and especially because I know that you have a lot of Jewish values in there, but also your, let's call it the positive Jewish content that you put out there, right? I like how you phrase that. It's really basically everything you're doing is positive Jewish content.
Yeah, that's my whole life now. And I'm also, another plug, if anyone's going to the Edinburgh Fringe, I'm actually producing a play for a friend of mine. It's called Marcus is Alive. His name is Marcus Freed. He was in a car accident, in a hit and run. And the play, he had terrible brain damage, but how it's so life affirming. It's such a beautiful piece of art. I'm really proud to present it. Yeah, to be.
That's different.
Yeah. So he's going to be at the Ed Fringe the whole month of August. If anyone is there, it's called Marcus is Alive.
Wow.
So yeah, so people, if someone comes to me with positive Jewish content, and if there's any way, I mean, I'm not putting this out there because I have too much to do as it is, but I do try to, to help them in any capacity that I can.
Speaking of, I saw something with Naomi Lopian and her father's story.
Oh my gosh, she is amazing.
I had her on the podcast.
Did you? Oh my God,
never,
I didn't see it.
I never cried on a podcast except with her.
She is so incredible.
I know.
She's a warrior. She is, you know what? There's one thing that I want to tell you, that I am so blessed. I am so blessed to be surrounded by the most incredible women. Like, my friends are warriors. Wow. They're amazing. She's one of the most inspirational women I've ever met.
So special.
Yeah.
You can literally feel like her soul through
her father's story has to get out. It has, and it will. It will.
I know. I read the entire book.
It's the
so
book.
Special.
Wow.
I know. Okay. I don't want to end this because I'm having so much fun.
I know, this is like, I'm really having fun. Maybe we just make coffees and go back. But it's like, there's a few things I did want to say.
Please.
I wanted to say about being a God-fearing woman, that people don't understand how I can platform and promote. Like, I found agents for writer friends of mine and help them with producers and funding and all that kind of stuff. And people are like, how is it you don't feel like they're your competition? Why are you doing that? There's no such thing as competition. And I can categorically tell you, there is no such thing as competition if you believe that what is coming to you is coming to you. And let me tell you something, that it shouldn't be as easy as it is for me. And it is. And I know it's because I'm helping other people. I just know if some people want to call it karma in the universe, let them call it that. But I know I know it's, I know it's Hashem.
I love this because I think I'm 29 and this is a passion. I have a real job. But I know that women my age sometimes struggle with like the resource scarcity mindset, right? Like there's only so much that can go around, right? We sometimes feel that, especially I think as women, because we don't always get a seat at the table. It's like, how many seats are they going to give to women, right? It's probably only going to be, they're going to choose one woman to be at the table, not two, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's a real thing that I think we're struggling with. And I think it's so important to hear from women who are successful and, doing the thing that they want to do, and hear them say like, there is no such thing as competition.
No.
What's mine will be mine. What's yours will be yours. And also, if we look back at history, like everyone has their space and
I want to be invested in your success.
I love that. Yeah.
I really do. And there's so funny because in English, there's no word that describes nachas.
Yes, I know.
And I really I get such nachas, like from people who are doing well. I want to be a part of that. Who wouldn't?
I know, but I think sometimes the natural instinct for that, because I think it is natural to want to see other people succeed, especially if you care for them, right? Like, but I think it sometimes gets clouded by the world that exists. Like, no, only one person can get into this school. Only one person.
But that means it wasn't meant for me.
Right, and that's what it comes down to.
And that's why and I've always, I feel very, very, very blessed. And I feel so blessed, and I feel so privileged, and I feel that, I want to be worthy of these blessings and this privilege. And I know my kids told me not to be cringe, and I'm sorry, kids, if I'm...
Wait, which part was cringe?
I don't know. Cringe? Every time I like that.
If they say it's cringe, I'm going to talk to
Mom. Oh, that's another thing. Okay, so what I want to tell you. A normal mother, her kids fight, right? Mm-hmm. Normal mother, kids fight. The mother says, stop fighting. Me, I said, wait, let me get my notebook. And then, what did he say?
Content.
And they come to my shows and they're like, oh, that's you. That's you. Oh, no, that's you.
That's hilarious.
They're
so funny.
A constant source of material. Thank God.
So cute. That's so funny. Okay, so unfortunately, I have my last question, which is so sad. Okay, and this is something that I ask all my guests, and it's what being a trailblazer means to you.
When I think of a trailblazer, I think of my best friend Lana Safran Betesh. She is a trailblazer.
Wait, talk to me. Why?
She's incredible. She was the chair of PJ Library, then she was the chair of Stand With Us UK. She talked me into going on the board of Stand With Us UK. She's actually one of the producers of my show because she loved the positive Jewish content. She's a trailblazer. There's no impediment. Anything that she sets her mind to doing just gets done.
Wow. And she probably says the same about you. If
that would be very nice.
I have a feeling.
No,
okay.
I'm in awe. I have incredible, and I feel bad for the people I didn't mention because I'm surrounded by incredible, wonderful people.
Wow.
Who I love and adore.
Beautiful. Well, I really truly think that you are as well. I think, just because you don't think being Orthodox and creative is, a dichotomy, I think being able to be so authentically yourself and doing everything that you feel is true to yourself, whether that's the work you're doing, the life you're living, I feel like so many of us have these like limitations we put on ourselves, and we can't always, really express it or really be fully ourselves, like all parts, integrating all parts together. And to me, like, cool career, sure, but to me, like, the most impressive thing is somebody that can really do that. So,
thank you very much. Appreciate
Such
that.
a pleasure having you. I haven't laughed like this in a while. I might have to call you once a week.
Fantastic. Same time next week.
Same time
the date.
next week.